Hello, everyone, and welcome to another More You Know Mondays. We're back. Some technical difficulties last time, but we're back again. We're going to keep doing it every week. New time right now, 7:30.
New time,
That's
right.
7:30. 7:30, at least on every other time, or my week. We may change it to go back to where it was before. But again, thank you all very much. Thank you to New Mexico for coming in, and let's get going.
Let's do it.
All right. As everyone kind of knows, we're trying the new format, a little bit shorter, bite-sized stuff. So some topics that we talked about. That's right, K-pop. It's a good time. Thank you very much for showing up. I know you had a rough day. It's been a rough day all around. Been running around like the Flash today. So we're trying this new format here so we don't take up a ton of your time because we can geek out and talk about this all day long. So we're going to try and keep this under 30 minutes for these shows going forward. So these topics are going to be a little bit shorter so we can do more of them a little bit quicker. So tonight, we're talking about Star Wars. We're talking about Marvel. We're talking about how everything else is connected all together. But what do you got going on, Shelby?
So what's up? You haven't paid your StreamYard account? You're logged into like an old account here. You got the StreamYard.
Yeah.
There.
My background is gone. I actually downgraded my account.
Oh, did you?
Because I figured, I go live now with you every other Monday.
Oh, okay.
So for going twice a month, I figured it really wasn't worth $25.
Oh, yeah, I understand that.
So I got to go through and kind of put some of my banners and stuff back together on this.
I gotcha. Yeah, not a lot here on my side. One thing I was going to share. So we talked about Pizzazz comics. We talked about Pizzazz magazines. I guess not last week, the week before, and I'd mentioned that one of the things with Pizzazz is they had these brand new Star Wars stories. It was the first time, even before Star Wars 7, right? It was the first new published Star Wars stories. Right. And I'd mentioned that the first story was reprinted by Dark Horse. And then the second story never was finished because Pizzazz ended. But it was reprinted in the Star Wars Weekly over in England.
Oh, that's all right.
So anyway, I was going around the eBays, and I showed this on one of my unboxing. It was like this weird little Star Wars book. I'm like, what the hell is this thing? I bought it. I wasn't sure what it was, but I love the gold cover. Zero, and it's shorter. See, it's shorter than a normal
there you
comic.
go.
It's shorter than a normal comic, right? And I'm like, what the hell is this thing? So I ordered it and got it in. This is the book that reprints that first Star Wars story from Pizzazz.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I accidentally got it, and yeah, it's very cool. It's recolored and everything from the Pizzazz, and so it reprints that Pizzazz first story from Star Wars. So yeah, it's really cool.
Well, that's very cool, man. Yeah, I didn't even know that existed either. So hey, learn something.
Yeah, it's an accident.
It's a happy accident, right?
It was. And then I just got these in today, and some I've been wanting to read. And I was just sitting here looking. It's like, what is that sticking out of it? And if anybody's been watching my unboxings, I usually hit those sellers that don't sell comic books so I can get like good deals on comics. So I knew this person,
right there.
I mean, these didn't even come in bagged and boarded, man. They were just stuck in a white envelope, not bagged and boarded.
Usually wrapped in newspaper.
Yeah, and anyway, inside there was stuck this thing.
Memo, what is that?
From 1999.
Vintage memo.
Yeah, and it was faxed around the office to brighten your day, and it's 23 things to drive other people crazy. Number 1, page yourself over the intercom, but don't disguise your voice. An intercom. What the hell?
Intercom.
Find out where your boss shops and buy exactly the same outfits. Always wear them one day after your boss does. This is especially effective if your boss is the opposite gender. Send email to the rest of the company. Tell them what you're doing. For example, if anyone needs me, I'll be in the bathroom. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of stupid things on here. But
is it signed? Can you send it to CBCS and get that slabbed?
Right. Yeah, it's just a bunch of stupid things. At lunchtime, sit in your car and point a hair dryer at passing cars, see if they slow down. When you go through a drive-through, specify that your order is to go.
All right.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to find.
Never know what you're going to find in comic books, man.
That's right.
Always something exciting.
Thank you to everyone hanging out with us right now. Las Cruces, always the first one in here. I appreciate you from New Mexico. Hey, Pop's in here. Josh Osborne.
Yeah, I was just looking at something Las Cruces posted on IG that I had favorited that I thought was real cool. It's like I needed to find. What was that, La Cruces? You had posted. It's like.
Do you remember what you posted?
Do you remember what you posted? Oh, I don't remember. I remember I liked it. Like, oh, I need to find that.
All right.
Anyway, I don't know. I see so many comics, Jeff. So many comics.
And what is wrong with that?
Not a thing, I guess.
Yeah, it is correct. That's the worst part of your day because you see too many comics. I don't feel for you.
Yeah, it's horrible.
All right, so tonight we are talking about how George Lucas saved Marvel. We've hinted at it.
Yeah, Silver Surfer 1982. Yes. Yes. That John Byrne book. Oh, and hold on, real quick. Sorry. So I got in my Comic Tom box. I'll be dropping the video later tonight. And look at what one of my hits was. The exclusive Shattered Silver Surfer. Limited to only 200 copies. So it's the same. No, it's not the same book. But yes, but anyway, it's Silver Surfer. Yes, you showed the trade paperback of Kirby and Stan Lee. Yes, now I remember. All right, that's enough. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
My brain itches.
Sometimes you just got to scratch it. Yeah, that Silver Surfer, the John Byrne one you're talking about with the the origin. I love that one. That one and the Galactus one. Those are two cool ones that everyone should kind of have.
Yeah, this was a trade paperback that Las Cruces showed. I have the book somewhere. But yeah,
he's got an awesome collection.
Yeah, it's really a great story. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. All right, so how did George Lucas save Marvel, Jeff?
Well, let's find out. We've hinted at this for a couple episodes. We figured it's not a long topic, but it's a fun one. So let's talk about it. So we're going to talk about the timeline and what has been kind of going on before and right after this kind of pivotal part in the 70s and early 80s that we kind of talked about in the past. From basically 1968 and before, sales for comics have continually rose. They were on a high. Everything they were putting out, they kept putting more and more books out, expanding all the series. They were doing great. Right after 68 is when the first time sales started to decline. So they're trying to figure out, okay, how do we combat this? What's going on? They rapidly started raising the prices. They had new actually comic book pages, sizes that they were doing. So you actually had a little bit of a quality difference to a lot of consumers' eyes. You had a lot of artists that were asking for raises because they haven't had a raise in a while. They were Marvel's trying to pinch their pennies. They're trying to sell the company. There's a whole lot of things going on right now. And then Stan Lee actually told some of the artists, including I think Kirby, when Kirby said, "I need more money. I can't keep this pace up. What I'm doing here, and I need to get paid more." And with this new format, Stan Lee basically said, "We'll just do fewer panels." make panels like the whole page, or only do 2 panels on a page. So that led to kind of what some of them were looking at as a lower quality product that's being put out. There's less artwork on there. The storytelling had to develop and adapt a little bit to this new storytelling there. Marvel was kind of known for pushing the envelope a little bit more, and then they kind of took a back seat when you have things like Martin Luther King and JFK. Marvel didn't address any of these big issues, which they were kind of known for in the past, because Stan Lee said he was terrified. He was terrified of having the same thing happen that what happened in the 50s when, certain groups would come around and, start bashing in comics and say certain things about them. He was terrified they were going to go under because they were at such a tipping point. And then you had people like Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko moving on, which they don't get enough credit, in my opinion. And Shelby, you can let me know here, but it really, when you look at what was developed and who was pushing a lot of this creativity, Jack Kirby is the one that was doing a lot of the creative dreaming, if you want to say, for all of these comics. And then Stan Lee would kind of come in and put his little twist on it to make it a Marvel thing, and kind of that pairing of both of them worked really well. But it really was Jack Kirby driving a lot of that creative force. He was helping other artists and other writers and other books that he wasn't even a part of, just because he had that creative mind that he was doing so many things and his mind couldn't stop. And that's when Stan Lee kind of went up to the more publisher side, a couple of steps up in there, and he took a step away and wasn't doing the writing and wasn't involved in the day-to-day stuff. And that's when Kirby and Steve Ditko, that's when they were getting overwhelmed, and they pretty much said, we're gone. So you have two of their big stars, leaving. No one really taking the place. You had Steranko that could potentially do it. He was hot at the time, but then he got kicked out. So what do you think about that whole scenario when that happened?
Yeah, well, Steranko actually tells the story that, he did one of the first wordless comics. He did a Nick Fury story that I think the first 3 pages were completely wordless. And they actually refused to pay him because there was no dialogue. And he had to fight, and he actually ended up getting paid less for those pages because there was no dialogue on them. So the view, and like you said, right, they were feeling like maybe they weren't getting their money's worth, by having these large splash pages and things like that, which definitely has changed over the years. But you did have a lot of people coming in, Neil Adams, John Buscema, that was taking over, but definitely by, and like I said, we have talked about this in previous episodes, that in some ways things were large, like fandom was large, conventions was large. Conventions, hey, Thunder God, conventions was really big and popular at that time, while new comic sales was actually dwindling. And it's kind of the same thing today. I talked to Richard that owns 5 locations of Bedrock City Comics here in Houston, and he says that new comic sales for them is like less than 3%. But comic conventions are larger than ever. So it's kind of an odd juxtaposition, right? But yeah, the same thing was happening here in the 70s.
Yeah, no, you hit it just right there. I mean, there's a lot of things.
What are they doing? They talking about, they're picking on me, Jeff. They're
just saying you're full of a lot of knowledge and you like sharing it. Is all they're saying right now.
No, it sounds like they're saying I talk a lot.
What's going on, Thunder? MF Stuntman, thank you for joining us on our shorter abridged version, that we're trying to do right now. In the 70s, obviously we talked about the newsstands, direct was starting to come a little bit towards the end of the 70s, but early 70s, we're talking about TV's getting popular, other media's getting popular. The sales on newsstands were dying, which was the main bread and butter that they were getting. A couple of bright spots. You've got Roy Thomas, licensing Conan, which was met with a lot of resistance by Stan Lee and a few other ones at the top there. They didn't want to license Conan, but depending on what rumor you hear, they got it for almost nothing to license Conan. So they said, okay, well, Roy, give it a shot. And for a while, it was rivaling Spider-Man for sales. It was a great success.
Yeah, people today just don't understand how huge Conan was. I mean, that book went for like 170 issues. I mean, it was a very long-running book.
Yep.
And it's my show, so I can talk as much as I want, by the way.
There's the revolving door over at Marvel. The editor-in-chief, they went through like 12 of them in like 10 years in that time span or something like that. It was a revolving door in there. The parent company, when they sold, and that's one reason why Stan went up a little bit higher. Cadence, they were losing millions of dollars at the time. And then right when you're getting to where we're talking about for Star Wars, that's right before DC cut 31 titles. They were struggling. So really, it was a very tumultuous time over there that they needed to do, and they needed something to come in and kind of save them in a big way. So that's when you have George Lucas. So how did this all connect? Cue the music.
Yeah, we don't want to get.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't want to get. Well, only if I have 1,000 followers and all that stuff. Yeah. I'll be far away from that. So what happened was you had these guys who own a comic book store, and that's Charlie Lippincott and Ed Summers. And then depending on what source I was looking at, they were either really good friends with George Lucas, or George Lucas actually was a investor or somehow connected with their actual store.
Yeah, I'd heard he was a part owner. The story I'd heard.
Yeah, so. I've heard two different ways, so I don't know. So I'm just putting them both out there. You guys decide. Either way, he knew these guys really well. He said, hey, I've got this movie coming out. Here's kind of the script, and here's some basic drawings that's kind of going on. Can you pitch it to Marvel? They pitched it to Marvel, and Stan Lee slammed the door right away and said, nope, not interested. Yep. Don't want it whatsoever. They went back, and they were like, man, that really sucks. They then had a chance encounter with Roy Thomas. I think it was at a convention, maybe.
Is that a convention or somehow they knew each other? And the story I heard is they all went to dinner together. I believe.
Yeah, they somehow had that connection, that magical connection there. They knew the success that Conan had. Obviously, Roy Thomas was the person that pushed for Conan. Roy Thomas saw the script, absolutely loved it, said, this is great. I'm going to have a hard time pushing this through. You got to basically make it worth my while for the most part. And the caveat was, okay, we'll let you have this for free. You don't have to pay us anything right now, as long as you get the first 2 issues out before the movie comes out. So if you get the first 2 issues out before the movie hits, so it's like an extra kind of publicity thing there. It's a great marketing stunt. All these people reading about the Star Wars book, then they go see the movie. Everyone's a win-win, right? So Roy pitches it, gets it through because it was free. And if you actually look at the first couple of issues of Star Wars, you will actually see some things in there that weren't in the movie. And because they were actually working on this script and storyboards, which ended up some of those issues, some of those scenes got cut from the movie. So you've actually got some more inside information in issues 1 and 2 than you actually get in the movies, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. The part of the story I'd heard is they had all went to dinner, and they showed Roy Thomas the Ralph McQuarrie images. And I don't think it can be understated the magnitude that those Ralph McQuarrie images had. It sold Alan Ladd on the idea for Star Wars. It, sold a lot of the people that got involved with it. And it also got Roy Thomas excited. So, those early images by Ralph McQuarrie, art, really pushing people's interest in the movie.
Yep, for sure. So the part that we all love, the show me the money part. Let me see. Actually, I still have that since I have my new account. I don't think I do anymore. Wait, here we go.
Jerry, show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money!
I still have it, man. George, show me the money. So as we kind of know, once the movie came out, the rest is kind of history. But that book was one of the first ones that sold over 1 million copies. It was outselling Spider-Man, their biggest title. Roy Thomas is a hero for doing all this stuff. We know there's been 37 or 50, I forgot, 37 or 50 different reprints of number one, just because it's been so popular and it's been out there. So this was a huge success when you come to it. Then you started running into the issue of saying, okay, the movies came out, the first movie came out, everything came out. Now what do we do here? We don't have any more story left. We told all of Lucas's story. So now what? So Lucas had some laws he set into effect with them. And he said, okay, you can keep running with this, but here's, he only sells DC. Fox is right. Thunder only sells DC slabs. So I don't think there's any DC Star Wars books. So, but the laws were Darth Vader could not be used initially. It was later amended, but you cannot talk about Darth Vader, and you cannot talk about the relationship between Luke and Leia. Those are his two laws that he had into effect that said you can keep running with this, but here's what you have to abide by. That's why those first ones, when we talk about issue 7 and Bound, we talk about the first original stories, why it focused on Han and not everyone else, was because of this. They didn't know what else to kind of do, and they knew Han was popular, so they ran with Han for a while before they can kind of do everything else. T-Pain, what's up? Thank you.
What up, T-Pain? Hey, Captain Beardo.
Captain Beardo.
So those of y'all just joining, our new time slot is 7:30. So adjust your internal clocks accordingly.
Kind of like daylight savings time a little bit here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. If you, and you're right, if you read those first 10 or so issues right after the original 6, it's mainly Han and the bounty hunters and things like that. And I also want to bring up Star Wars is one of those oddities where there is a ton more Whitmans out there than the normal, meaning the regular comic, simply because of the overwhelming success of Star Wars, and Whitman, was just constantly pumping those out. Same with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? You have a higher number of the reprints than you do the original, where today, usually the second, third, fourth printing have less of a print run than the first printing. But Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, those are properties that had a higher print run in their second and third and fourth printings because it was just so immensely popular. And even when we're talking about Whitman's for other comics, right, those are low print runs because those were done near the end of a print run, specifically to be bagged into the 3 bags. Got the little doggy over there.
Yeah. Got my visitor.
Yeah, but just one of those oddities, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was like we talked about it in the Whitman, video. And if you haven't seen the Whitman video, the link will be up over here. So make sure you check that out as well. But yeah, the Whitman for a couple of years only produced Star Wars books. They didn't do all the rest of them. They just said, give me Star Wars. Star Wars is hot. And just keep pumping out the reprints, and we're going to keep selling them. So there's a lot more, like I said, a lot of those reprints out there. And they're not always going to say reprint on the cover. A lot of times it'll be in the indicia, it'll be inside. So sometimes you'll see, and beware, especially on eBay and some other places where people say, hey, I've got the first Star Wars right here. It doesn't say reprint on the front cover. Usually you send them a message, say, can you open up the inside, and does it really say first print, or does it say second, third, or this was originally printed in something else. And the few times I've asked that, it has always been a reprint. So this opened the door. They had the success with Conan. They had the success with Star Wars. So that kind of opened up the floodgate. They said, okay, Roy, you convinced us. We're going to go crazy now. So they did Battlestar Galactica, Indiana Jones, G.I. Joe, Transformers. They just started licensing everything, and they've all been fairly successul.
Micronauts.
Micronauts, yep.
Annie, they did one thing of Annie. Pope John Paul, they did Pope John Paul.
I wonder what that licensing deal looked like.
I'm not sure, with the Vatican or something. So,
like I said, Star Wars ran for 10 plus years, up to 107, 108. They lost the rights to Dark Horse at the last minute. That Dark Empire series with a really cool, was it Brian Bolin, or who did the covers for Dark Empire? You remember?
You got me. Sorry.
The cool painted covers. I think it's Bolin.
Yeah, they're painted covers and stuff.
Yeah. Those were supposed to be Marvel. Those were originally going to be Marvel books. And at the last minute, Dark Empire, Dark Horse won the rights to that. So that, again, we all know the success that Dark Horse had with that. And now it's obviously back over on the Marvel side again. So I just wanted to throw a couple of rare things at you. People kind of know about that rare 35-cent variant that's out there, Star Wars #1. You can get a regular, say, Star Wars for $400. But then if you get Dark Empire was great, right, Marty? That was like one of my favorite Star Wars series. But then if you get the 35-cent variant, you're talking, it's about an $8,000. You're talking an 8.5 goes for about $12,000, when an 8.5 will be, just a couple $100 at most for a regular Star Wars. And this is the other one I didn't necessarily know about, is this Vader Down #1, the variant. So that is, you had to order 4,999 copies to get this one copy.
Wow.
So this is the one with the white background, and you see the Jackson, front and center almost there, sticks out a lot. And that goes for $10,000. So by some miracle, you're out in the wild and you see this Vader Down #1 with the white background with Jackson there. And yeah, you've got yourself a winner. But you had to order 5,000 copies to get this one. That's why you don't see it too often.
I've never seen it. I thought that was Salacious Crumb back there.
Nope. They've got a couple other variants of this that look similar, but it's not this all white background one. So that was just a fun one that I like to try and throw in there. But again, we wanted to make this one quick, so I just kind of threw this one out there. We got into our time frame. It's been about half an hour. So I think that was a success. What else do you got to add to this, Shelby?
I think Dark Horse definitely took the series in an interesting direction, where they built out the history and mythology quite a bit.
They expanded that universe a lot.
Yeah. And I know I read a lot of the early Dark Horse stuff. I'll have to admit, a lot of it was bad too. Let's not get crazy here, but yeah, there were some bad parts of it. But Star Wars, Splinter of the Mind's Eye is first original novel of Star Wars. First original story in novel form, I should say. But Star Wars, just can't be you can't understate the power that movie had, at that time. I mean, I was 8 years old when it came out. I remember being very proud to say that I'd seen it 12 times in the theater. I remember going and seeing it the first time, and when I called my mom to pick me up, I said, "Don't pick me up. I'm gonna go see this again. Come get me." She
was like, "Great, stay there as long as you want."
Oh yeah, she's probably drinking, I'm sure. So but yeah, I mean that movie was just, you know, and like I said, the mythology but this guy is still talking. Thank you, Thunder. Yeah, I mean, I had all the action figures and everything. I mean, and it's still going strong, you know, today. I mean, the only thing that really eclipsed it, I guess, is Star Trek, because it came out in 66, 11 years prior. But, you know, you don't see, you know, the toys and merchandising and, you
Right.
know,
I mean, you still
movies
quite a bit of
and things
really the
like
Star
that
Trek
still
comics
coming
didn't really
out
do
from
much.
it, right?
Yeah, no one touches Star Trek comics, right? I mean, I don't see those collecting those, and you don't see whole things about that.
I sadly collected them. Yeah, so I've got a couple of short boxes full of some worthless Star Trek books.
Right. But Star Wars, man, through the roof, you know?
Star Wars, I'm glad I completed my set a couple of years ago. You know, I completed the whole set. That was one of my goals a couple of years back.
Just the Marvel one or all the Dark Horse, all of them?
Oh, no. I wasn't even going to try with Dark Horse. Just all the Marvel. Fits nicely in a short box. But you got some in the mystery boxes. Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of unusual Star Wars ones out there too. A few unusual Marvel Star Wars ones I didn't even know about. MF Stuntman was saying he actually has a the Whitman one that Whitman actually produced, not the reprints or anything they put in the packs, but one they produced. He's got that framed in his house. So there's a few odd ones out there that I didn't really know about until pretty recently. So
yeah, let's see, I just got these in the other day. You know, a sucker for like Dale Goldkeefe photo covers. So I just got these in. Star Wars Age of Resistance, General Hux, Age of Rebellion, Luke Skywalker on Dagobah scene. And then, of course, everybody's favorite scoundrel. So Han Solo there. But yeah, I mean, they're still producing stuff today. You know that whatever it was going crazy right now. Bounty Hunters going crazy. Mandalorian. You know,
John Favreau pretty much single-handedly revived that whole franchise.
Wow. Yeah. What a guy.
Yep.
It's
There's the memes that are going around where was it like J.J. Abrams said something where you can't, you know, appease the original older collector people who love it and then bring in new people. And John Favreau says, "Here, hold my beer."
Right.
So yeah, he did a great job. Again, everyone, thank you for sticking around with us for over half an hour on the show. Shelby, what do you got coming up next? What are you doing
next week? So I'll try to keep it to about at least 45 minutes. I think we're going to do Marvel in video games. So a little bit of history about Marvel Comics and the video game industry. So nice. I found out some really interesting stuff doing the research. I found one or two videos on YouTube and such. But yeah, I thought it might be a fun little thing to talk about. Video games is really hot right now. You know, you can package them up and seal them and, you know, call them collector's items and sell them and stuff. You know, it's kind of like a comic book. It's like, let's freaking seal that sucker. So what is meant to be can't be done, which is read, and a game can't be played. Let's seal that sucker up in freaking plastic and call it a collector's item. So
same with the DVDs and the movies and everything. Same thing.
It's crazy. So yeah, I thought I'd do a little bit about the history of that. And but yeah, one of the reasons why we shifted the time and trying to keep it to a specific time length is if y'all don't know it, Jeff is going to be doing a show on Whatnot. He does it on Mondays at 8:30. So if you're in the mood to buy some stuff, definitely download the Whatnot app. on your phone.
Yes,
Make
indeed.
yourself an account and go support Jeff tonight.
Thank
So
you. Yeah, right after this. So in 20 minutes, I'll be over on Whatnot. I got a big announcement that I'm going to be doing. I'm doing a partnership with Whatnot. So make sure you check that out over there. Again, some great deals on there. And then Shelby, you're probably going to be on Wednesday, right?
yeah, sometime this week. I haven't pulled everything together yet and looked it up. Oh, yep, K-pop said he got his stuff.
Enjoy that buys the goodness.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll be on Whatnot a couple of times this week. I'll probably keep Friday schedule. Last Friday did really well. I want to try like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm not sure which yet. Oh, also, we got these great Monday shirts. So this is what I call the horror version. It's kind of a cool vintagey look. He's got the devil one. But yeah, you can go to shelbyscomics.com.
Links down below.
Link will be down below. And you can type in MY, make sure I'm saying it right, MYKM, which is More You Know Monday, abbreviated 10. So MYKM 10 as a coupon code, and you get 10% off your entire order. So we've got some shirts starting at only $12. Which are just nice normal shirts. We got some extra soft shirts starting at $12, and then we have the more expensive like Heather Tri-Blend, which is around $19. We got coffee mugs, we got tumblers. So we're just trying to see how we can figure out to get Jeff HardToComeBuy boxer shorts. That's what
everyone's asking for those, so you got to do that. And then of course Thunder God, Thunderdome on Thursdays. You always got to check that out. But again, thank you everyone so much. Thank you for sticking with us. And Shelby, get us out of here.
All right, hey guys, lot of things going on in the community, but I always say that those that support us are the best parts of the community. It's tough out there. Be sure to be kind to one another. Most of all, peace, love, and comics.
Comics.
Bye.